Hey, it's Mike at 32 Pens. Someone asked me today, why would I want to come to your store and spend $80 to $100, well in fairness, $50 to $100 for a pen? I mean, come on, it's a pen, right? You can go to Staples and buy cheap pens, and they're right just fine, especially the roller balls. If you haven't tried roller balls over ballpoints, by the way, check them out. They are far better. Anyway, why spend so much money on a pen? When I was a student and I had no money and I was eating nothing but Kraft dinner and ramen noodles, I went to the dollar store and I bought cheap paper and cheap pens, and that's what I took all my notes with. I didn't know the difference. I had no idea what I was missing. I had no idea that there was such thing as a good writing experience. I wrote and I wrote and I wrote, and my hand got sore, and that was perfectly normal to me. You know, no one ever told me any different. So, first of all, you might want to come to my store if you care about the writing experience, because I care a great deal about the writing experience. I write a lot. I journal a lot. I use a bullet journal for a lot of my to-dos, and coupled with a digital calendar, because the digital world rocks as far as calendaring, as far as I'm concerned. But as far as to-dos, I greatly prefer an analog system. It just works for me. And I write enough that I really care about the feel of pen and paper and ink, and if one of those is wrong, you're not going to like the writing experience. So you come to my store because you care about the writing experience. Secondly, I don't know about you, but while this is functional, it's not pretty. Okay, I mean, I don't know. I guess it really depends on what you like. Some people could consider that pretty. I drive a Honda Fit, and sometimes I think it's cute. Pretty? No. Obviously, people in the world do care about pretty, because not everyone's driving a Honda Fit, even though it is an amazing car for just getting you around town, A to B car. But BMW doesn't really seem to be hurting for sales. So people care about more than just function. They also care about form. Luxury cars sell. Okay? This is my luxury version of a pen. And I made this myself. And I'd be happy to make you one. This one in particular is a fountain pen. And I swapped out the number 6 nib that came with it, and I put on a Goulet nib, extra fine. And I love the way this writes. So, but I make ballpoints, I make roller balls, because fountain pens are kind of a niche market. Unless you happen to be in that online fountain pen community. Yes, there is an online fountain pen community. There is an online community for everything. Anyway, just think for a minute, how many things in your life, you probably count them off on one hand. How many things in your life are going to last beyond your lifetime? How many things that you care about are going to last beyond your lifetime? Well, your house, hopefully. Your car, no. Your electronics, God no, they were obsolete when you bought them. I don't know. Things that you care about. Well, as far as inanimate objects that you care about, perhaps some jewelry, anything given to you as a gift, maybe? Well, there's an idea. So when you're shopping for a gift for someone, and you want to give them a truly unique gift that they don't have already, I guarantee you they do not have a pen that is in my store, because every one of them is unique. Every one of them was handmade by me. They are not mass produced. every one of them is a unique item. I mean, full disclaimer, this is made from a kit. So anyone who uses the exact same kit is going to end up with a similar pen, but it will not be identical to this one. Especially considering that the body of this pen is wood, the grain is unique, it's like a fingerprint from the tree. The contours of it were decided by me when I turned it. I guarantee you it's unique. So they make great gifts. And they're not going to break if you drop them 6 feet. They don't require software upgrades. You don't have to remove malware from them. You don't have to worry about any privacy concerns with them. Beyond, of course, whatever you write in a diary, and I highly recommend you hide your diary. You know, I think they make amazing gifts. I still think there's a place in the world for them. I'm happy to discuss the future of handwriting and pens and analog versus digital, but that's not what this video is about. This is just about why would you shop at my store. Because I greatly care about the writing experience, and I don't want to give you anything that is not an amazing writer. So if you want to get away from just using these on lousy paper with bad ink, I highly recommend that you try out a better class of pen with better ink and better paper, and I can make some recommendations for you. As far as why use a fountain pen, I'm going to link to a video from SBRE Brown on the subject. He covers it far better than I could. Really, really good video on dispelling all the myths about fountain pens. You may have heard a lot of myths from your parents. Don't forget that the fountain pens that your parents used are now considered vintage fountain pens, and it's really not the same as the pens that are being made today. And yes, fountain pens are made today. There are modern fountain pens. Just because it's a fountain pen does not mean that it is something that is ancient. And by the way, just because something is old does not mean it is bad. Okay, that's a myth. That is flawed logic. Evaluate every instance on its own merit. And I'm happy to discuss the pros and cons of fountain pens. I'm sold on them, but I use a little bit of everything in the end because right tool for the job, right? So anyway, why should you shop at my store? Unique handmade items by someone who cares about them. They were not mass-produced. They are going, if you take care of them, they will last beyond your lifetime. You can hand them down to your children. And they make great gifts. And they're a lot cheaper than, say, a new iPhone that is obsolete from the moment you pick it up and has a programmed obsolescence in it as far as the software upgrades, and doesn't even have a headphone jack. Thank you, Apple. Fraction of the cost of a lot of the gifts that you might think about buying too. And personally, I think they look better, especially when you put them in a nice case. Real leather case. Love those. Sorry, animal activists, but yes, this one's real leather. And you take care of this, and there is no reason why this will not last to hand it down to your children. Assuming that they use pens at all. Who knows? I'd love to have a discussion on that sometime about the death of cursive, although I think that's been covered far by if you're interested in that discussion, actually, look for a TED Talk by Jake Weidmann, who is a master penman and calligrapher. And he gave a really nice TED Talk on that subject. I will link to that as well. Anyway, I'd love to help you out. Take a look at the store, 32Pens.ca. If you have any questions, do not hesitate to ask either in the comments or just email Mike at 32Pens.ca, and that will find me. Thank you.